everybody, it's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I've got a new Tuesday tip for you, and this one is pretty darn cool. If you are looking for new ways to add real dimension to a stamped image, you don't want those images to be flat, and we're going to go way beyond just adding Stampin Dimensionals. No, today we're going to be talking about some amazing ways, 9 in fact, of how to add some really true dimension to your stamped images. Are you intrigued? I bet you are. Let's head over to my stamping table and we'll get started. So when I talk about an image looking like it's just floating in the air, this is a great example. This is from Happy Tales. I've got my little dog and his bone, but do you think he just looks kind of odd? Rover's just kind of floating in space. I'm going to show you some ways that we can take these stamped images and kind of ground them and make them look like, well, they're doing something besides floating in the air. The first technique I want to show you is so easy. You can see it's kind of like we've just defined what is the wall and what is the floor. Guys, I simply did that by coming in with a ruler and just drawing a line, and anywhere the image is, I'm just going to stop. So you can see I can just come right in between, and just like that, my image is no longer floating. That's one technique. Another thing we can do is we can come in with the Stampin' Blends. I've got the light crumb cake, and I'm simply going to give my little rover here just something that he's a little more grounded. Why I love Stampin' Blends for this technique is they blend. So I don't have to worry about lines or anything like that, but you can see we can just kind of, I'm simply tracing around. You can see my dog is now grounded because he's kind of got this little shadow underneath him. So the Happy Tales stamp set also has a matching punch if you choose to order that separately. And let me show you a little technique using the punch. So there's my stamped image, and here's my little punch dog. I could do that, but same problem. He's just floating. How about this? I just came in with my stitch-shaped dies, and I used one of the small ovals, and look what happens when I adhere that oval. I add dimensionals to Rover, and I put him there. Look at that. Now, Rover's sitting on a little rug. All right, let's move on to another stamp set. I thought I would try sailing home with some of these techniques. So here you can see my boat, even though we do have some grounded images there, because you can see it is in the water. But let's say you wanted to add a little bit more. This technique here is much like the one that you saw me do, where I'm going to give it, instead of a wall, we're going to give it just the edge of the ocean. So I've got a Night of Navy marker. You can see I'm just coming right to the edge of my stamped images. I can now come in with a Stampin' Blend. This is the light balmy blue, and I could just color it in, as you can see right here. And now my ship kind of looks like it's sailing in the middle of the ocean. Maybe you'd like a little more wave. How about this? I'm just going to come back in with that Night of Navy marker again. And I'm just going to make waves. Very simple. Again, coming in with my Stampin' Blends, and I just colored in the bottom of the water. I really love the masking technique. So what I've done here is I stamped the ship on copy paper. Really, it was junk mail. I kid you not. Now, I have added a little snail here on the back, and I want to de-stickify it. I don't want it to be too sticky. This is my favorite technique for doing that. We're just going to rub that there on my sleeve, and that's going to add a little fuzz to the back. It's going to ensure that I do not have it really stick to the paper. I just need it to gently stay there. So if you notice, I've stamped my ship, and I'm going to cover my ship. And I found this great stamp in my Lily Pad Lake stamp set. Look at this, just perfect waves of water. I will ink that up on a balmy blue ink pad, and I'm going to stamp right over that mask. Now, there we go. Watch what happens when I remove the mask. Look at that. Look, the water goes right in between. It's perfect. Another really great technique. This technique is kind of fun. So I'm just going to take my paper snips, my scissors, and I'm just going to just hand cut some simple waves, right? Very simple. I'm going to come back in with that balmy blue, and I've got a sponge dauber. Your Stampin' sponges would work well too, whichever one makes you happy. And I'm just going to lay that little hand cut border there, and I'm just going to sponge around that ship. And I don't think I mentioned it, I actually use that mask again, so that just sits right on there. We sponge around, we can remove the mask, and there we go. Another little simple technique. Now, what to do with this when you're done? Well, how about we flip it over and you can just add that to your card as well. Very simple to do. Now with this one, we do need to pop that sailboat. I added some Stampin' Dimensionals to add that because you see it gives it even more added dimension, especially with the water being kind of flat. But you could use the sponge side of that as well. And let me just point out, any of these that you want to add the extra dimension, you can see having that ship die cut really makes a difference. And there we go, guys. That is 8 simple techniques to give amazing dimension to your stamped images in a whole new way. And we kind of went beyond just the basic Stampin' Dimensional, right? We really added true depth to our stamped images. There you go. How about that 9 tips to help you take your images from being a little on the flat side and giving them the real dimension that they deserve. And guys, let me tell you, this goes beyond ships and dogs. Let's think about, maybe the Varied Vases stamp set. Maybe you've got that image. And again, you want that vase to look like it's sitting on something and not just floating randomly in the air. Or maybe the Birthday Goodness stamp set. You love the stamp set, but you want that cake stand to actually be grounded on something. So next time you're using one of your favorite stamp sets, I hope one of these techniques will give you some good ideas on how to make that stamp set grounded and give it the dimension that you're looking for. Now, if you would like more information about the things that I showed you today, here's what you can do. You can go to simplysimplestamping.com and look for the July 30th, 2019 blog post. I'll have all the images of the stamped images I shared today, and you can see those. Or if you'd like to add some of the things that you need to your next order, maybe the Stampin' Blends or those stitch-shaped dies, any of those things, just look for the images. Click a pic. It's going to take you right to my online store and you can order what you need right there. Guys, I hope today inspired you and is going to kind of take your stamping to a whole new level. I'll tell you, once I really sat down and started playing with the ideas just kept coming and coming. It was really a lot of fun, and it kind of has just sparked a new excitement in my stamping. I hope it did the same for you. If it did, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. I always appreciate that. You'll see the thumbs up right there underneath the video. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I share 3 videos a week with you, giving you lots of ideas to take your stamping in a whole new direction. And as always, it will be simple. Be sure to click subscribe, and guys, we'll see you on the next video. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.